Being a tourist is extremely interesting thing. Beautiful places, great food, healthy lifestyle. My name is Vladimir Onanyansa, and today we are going to talk about the business which was created right for Georgia, about tourism.
Welcome to Georgia. Welcome to the first ceremony of the National Award in the field of tourism. Today, Veranda Funicular restaurant is full of those who is somehow connected to tourism, including our crew. The event will determine the winners in 20 different nominations. The organizers of the ceremony are sure this is going to be a permanent award ceremony and will contribute to the development of the tourism industry in Georgia. Everyone who received this coveted statuette promises to meet the high standards in the future as well. Both the guests and the organizers claim that the ceremony can be considered an analogue of the Hollywood Oscar in the field of local tourism. The criteria to be met by the participants are very strict, and it's not at all easy to satisfy them.
It's great. I mean, for Georgia to have their first award ceremony is fantastic. They've got to do this. They've got to celebrate what's good about Georgia. And there's an awful lot of good. It's hard in the world to celebrate good all the time, but they're doing it tonight, so that's fantastic. And for a hotel company like Hilton, it's about people. It's about the kids that are working with us, the adults that are working with us. We've only got 9 people from abroad working there. So there's 200 team members from Georgia. So that's their award tonight. They deserve it. They've worked so hard. So I think they're all going to be dancing in the streets tonight in Batumi, really enjoying it. It'll be good fun.
This prize is really important for my company because it proves our right way forward, that we are developing, that we are trying to be the best, although I would share it with my competitor Mamuka Burduli, with whom we started to develop rafting in Georgia, the adventurous and active tourism. And I think that this is one of the main nominations since Georgia is an adventure.
Today we are very proud and very happy that we won in this category because I think it's a beautiful project. We have a beautiful wine project, we have a beautiful tourism hospitality project. We have a team which is working every year hard and successful. So it's a motivation for everybody in the team to carry on and to develop, I think, the new Georgian tourism destination.
According to the organizers, the premium should be an additional motivation for the local companies who are now obliged to use this opportunity to improve their activities. The development of individual organizations working in the tourism industry will have a positive impact on Georgian tourism on the whole, since every single hotel, every travel agency, a restaurant and a bar are its indispensable components. After all, they form the impression of the country for foreigners. And the impression after visiting Georgia can be mixed, experts say. Despite the tremendous potential of the country due to its rich natural diversity, Georgia still has not become a tourism mecca yet. And this is because of a weak infrastructure and poor quality of service. However, statistics show that the number of tourists in Georgia is growing steadily. Gradually, problems are also solved. From the first day of its establishment, the Georgian Tourism Association promotes the development of the entry tourism. Our main priorities are the development of the entry tourism and the promotion of the local one. It is constantly accompanied by various problems, including those of the infrastructure and service. Sure, we are developing step by step, but the process is slow. Specifically, for example, the roads leading to various tourist areas and facilities are uncomfortable. That must be improved. As for the service, both the private sector and our organization are actively involved in various training and retraining courses. The interest towards Georgia has always been and is for foreigners. It is a new place for traveling. By the way, the government is making great effort to attract tourists to the country. This means their participation in various international showcases and the production of video commercials and promos for foreign TV channels. The interest of foreigners in respect of Georgia is not confined to the ski and sea resorts. The country offers many other types of recreation, from medical adventure extreme to gastronomic ones. It is this diversity that attracts foreigners, experts stress. We have the privilege of our landscape. There are just a few countries that can be compared. We've got everything. There should be internal standards. It's very important, because in this case we would know how to act, how to check these standards, how to improve them. However, despite the absence of internal standards, a large discrepancy with certain international regulations, some problems with the level and quality of service, there is no lack of tourists in Georgia, and travel agencies make enough money for a decent life. Our company, Travel Tour, has been working since 2008. Interest in Georgia is vast. We always have work. Mainly foreigners are attracted by the ski resorts and the sea. Interest toward Georgia increases every year. We still need to improve a lot of things, like infrastructure and service. However, Georgia is constantly progressing. Many hotels are being built here, both in the capital and on periphery. Hotels are mostly full. I think that soon we'll get the level when we will be able to provide tourists with a service corresponding to international standards. There are lots of guests from Asia, from countries like the UAE, Israel. Many guests are coming from neighboring countries too, certainly from Europe too, but still not in such amounts. According to official statistics, the largest number of tourists come to Georgia from the former Soviet Union republics, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Russia and Ukraine. Experts urge to focus in more fastidious tourists on Western ones. In order a resident of Europe or the United States to be attracted, we should not spare neither efforts nor money or marketing. And here we still have some difficulties. Although entering a random restaurant, we were surprised enough to find it exclusively by the Europeans. And here we still have some difficulties. Although entering a random restaurant, we were surprised enough to find it exclusively by the Europeans.
It's a nice country, I think. Tbilisi is a nice city, very nice city, but I didn't have seen much things yet. It was a little bit of the older city of Tiflis this afternoon, and then this pub in the evening is not very much, but it's quite good.
I like the Georgian people, I like the culture, everything I like is here in Georgia. This year it's my second time here in Georgia, working for myself and enjoying everything that we have here in Georgia.
The food is good, and then great places to visit. All the old monasteries and the churches and Svegnahje, and the wine is super.
What do I like? Well, the weather, the food, the nature. What I dislike? Maybe servers in restaurants. But here it's okay. It's not a Georgian place. What else? Roads, the way people drive.
I'm from Holland. In Holland it's always raining. In Georgia the sun is shining. It's nice. And people are friendly. Service in Georgia, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Let's say when it's good you come back, when it's bad you don't come back.
Though neither the hostess appeared to be local, however, she does know firsthand the problems of the tourism industry in Georgia. Georgia is a very good country. People are very hospitable. Great cuisine, not expensive, secure. First of all, the problem was the staff. Nobody spoke English. Well, almost all of my clients are foreigners. Back in the time when I was starting business here, there was no Carrefour or Goodwill. There was a lack of food choice. I am a chef and have to deal without having everything I needed. But now the situation is improved. Regarding service and stuff, it's a very interesting question. Service is a new conception for Georgia, but to be true, it has been improving day by day. I'm very strict with it. So we rigorously try to attach the Europeans to watching our program.
Специально?
Especially for program money.
Especially for money.
Программа?
Speciaal na programma деньги.
Деньги.
Speciaal voor het programma geld.
One more time, just everything together.
I can't. It's not possible.
Especially for money.
What is actually happening in Georgian tourism sphere? We will talk about it with a person who knows almost everything about it, with Saba Kiknadze, the head of the Georgian Hospitality Group.
Здравствуйте, господин Саба. Спасибо, что согласились принять нас.
Hello, Mr. Saba. Thanks for admitting us here. Tourism for Georgia is an extremely important area. Our country can be said to be oriented for tourism. How are the things in this sphere?
Вообще в туристической отрасли в Грузии.
Я бы сказал, знаете, когда вы спрашиваете...
Hello, I would say that if you ask me personally, then I can tell you it's all right. Since I was at the origin of what was happening 25 years ago, and Georgia is now probably not in the right place where it should be, but still the Georgian tourism is going up. So I want to say that for the last 10 years, Georgian tourism has been developing. Actually, everything's got its reasons as well as problems. For instance, the infrastructure, sure, it's been developing too, comparing to what used to be those 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, though there is some stagnation observed for the last 2-3 years, but still I'm quite optimistic about it. The amount of visitors can be increased twice, even with the current infrastructure and service.
Даже при этой инфраструктуре и при этих сервисах.
Вот скажите, а что, на что...
What specifically should be considered in the regards by both touristic companies and the government in order to improve this infrastructure? What should be stressed primarily?
На что надо делать упор в первую очередь?
Знаете, все взаимосвязано.
You know, everything is really linked. There are several conceptions of development. When you first arouse interest, which is followed by business creating infrastructure, this is one of the models. But there is another one when the government makes stress on this area development, considering it important for the development of the country and assisting by the corresponding tax policy, sometimes by direct financing and so on. Several countries have applied such concepts. State can contribute in both ways. Boosting supply and demand. When the state is transiting from socialism to capitalism and the economics is oriented on short-term business, such a catalyst from the state can be quite effective. What do we have today? Does the state somehow assist the sphere? Is there any special tax regulations for tourist companies? There's no special regulations, but we have a zero VAT for some operations, which is quite normal. But would it be good if for these needs, for example, lands were issued or something like that as the further stimulus? Tourism is such a specific sphere that anyway, if we talk about the investment in tourism, in resorts or hotels, it is a long-term investment. The return investment is counted for 8-10 years, so in order to dare make such an investment, some more confidence and guarantees needed.
То есть гарантированный возврат интереса, такая помощь иногда нужна.
Понятно. А вот скажите, В Грузии достаточно широко представлены
There are quite broadly represented different international brands, and first of all, it refers the hotel business. I mean the world-class greatest hotels. How is it with regards to the local business? Will the local brands be able to compete with the international ones? Or is it an absolutely normal situation?
Или это абсолютно нормальная ситуация?
Это абсолютно нормальная ситуация. Во-первых, бренд может быть, менеджмент может быть международный.
Sure, it is. First of all, the brand itself can be international, while the owners to be locals. In order to create own brand, rich culture and vast experience is required, which we can't see here yet. Also, huge money, good concept, and professionals are needed. And the presence of famous brands is really good for the country, since there are lots of guests from different countries who come here and, notwithstanding the richest local choice, still chooses familiar brands. He therefore feels guaranteed with traditional quality of service and so on.
Удара и денег, да, в это дело.
Вот вы как раз сейчас говорили о качестве, в том числе сказали, что...
You've just told about the quality. Many experts know that Georgia still lags behind most of European and leading Asian countries. So you, being ahead of one of the biggest tourist holdings in Georgia, what are you doing in order to improve the service level here?
Европейского уровня, скажем.
Service
is quite a broad concept. It starts with a restaurant and ends with guide or driver. We have our own standards and we often conduct trainings. We permanently update data, also working on guides qualification, working with drivers and so on. Here again we observe the brands, since there are lots of experienced professionals in our company who used to work with brands. Regarding small hotels, it is normal that they work their own way, because they actually shouldn't act like big ones. Everything must be originated from below, natural hospitality and the needs of clients. If we generally talk about the country, sure, we need good quality professional hospitality schools. They are here, they really are. Though we need more, and we need to realize that these skills and knowledge are essentials and in great demand. And in the end, everything comes to commerce and competence. Actually, today the situation is much better than it was yesterday due to the increased investment, competence and the comprehension of the fact that we should seek for more. All this is extremely important, for example, the qualification of waiters. This is the same as you being in Paris and visiting the same cafe, start to seek that old 65-year-old man who will serve you like a real professional, and it's cool.
Как профессор. И учишься от него, что где и когда делать.
I see. And the last question for today. How do you think? What direction of tourism can be potentially developed the best way in Georgia? What is it that can distinguish the country in the near future? What should we make stress on in the first place?
В ближайшее будущее мы должны говорить мы должны...
I think we must raise our cultural tourism. Also, these are spa resorts, wellness and health tourism, adventure tourism and so on. So we really got perspectives here, but for all the above-mentioned spheres, good infrastructure, technologies and marketing are required. Georgia can be developed in very different ways regarding tourism. We can compare it to France or Italy, since we really have everything. So Georgia got really good perspectives in all kinds of tourism.
Очень большие перспективы в любом плане развития любого туризма.
Thank you so much. Thank you too. The first ceremony Welcome to Georgia Awards is over. Winners got their prizes, satisfied and are preparing for the new season. And about the future of the award and the perspectives of the tourism industry development, we will talk to the managing partner of the company, Marina Chaika. Hello Marina, thank you for meeting us here.
Thank you for the invitation.
Tell me please some words about the National Award Ceremony Welcome to Georgia. What is it? I know it is the first time it's being held in our country. Just some more details, please.
Yes, this was the first time when this ceremony was held here, but similar projects exist in the world, and Georgia is the country which is the right place for the project, since hospitality and tourism industry is being developed here. You know it even better than I do. And it is to be further steadily developed, but the participants of this development should be awarded in order to get further results. The global aim of the project is the popularization of Georgia as a tourist zone in order to attract foreign tourists as well as to work with internal ones, to talk about the country and to stimulate and motivate to study Georgia even deeper. Here there is virgin nature, so lots of opportunities and perspectives to make it more attractive.
Ну, о Грузии мы еще поговорим поподробнее.
We will talk about Georgia again a bit later. Now we would like to know more about the award itself, about nominations, participants. Are they only local ones or international as well?
Бренды международные тоже.
Проект состоит из 20 номинаций. Они подобраны так, что...
The project consists of 20 nominations. They are designed in the way that among the participants there could be hotels, restaurants, tour operators, even companies, festivals, wineries, and cultural organizations, namely everything that contributes to the hospitality industry development of the country and attracts tourists. We are not setting any limits as to the participation in the ceremony. Any company or organization acting on the territory of Georgia can apply for it, both local and international ones. Though we were more interested in attracting local brands, since such a project is nothing new for the international brands which participate in the international contests. And we invested lots of time, resources and energy in order to convey the idea to the local companies to join this attempt to show Georgian hospitality. And this is something unique, you know. I'm not flattering. It's an indispensable part of every resident of this amazing country. Whoever comes here desires to return to these parts by all means, and all due to hospitality, for making a guest return is its main task.
Потом хотят возвращаться не раз, и это основная цель гостеприимства – сделать так, чтобы гость вернулся.
Марина, вот вы частично уже предвосхитили мой следующий вопрос, но все-таки не могу не
You have nearly anticipated my question, and I can't but ask. You started in Ukraine, then you worked in Russia, but finally you focused your attention on Georgia. Was it because of the Georgian hospitality, or there were some other reasons?
Какие-то, не знаю, это что-то, какие-то знаки для нашей команды были.
You know, there were all kinds of tokens in favor of this idea. Moreover, it turned out that we had a lot of friends here after doing this project in Ukraine. They advised us to realize the project in Georgia. Tourism and hospitality are the segments that develop the country's economics currently. So our company never refuses a single chance. Now we're up with the idea and really happy with it. Actually, we had not so much time. We started working on the project in April. Thus, we had only 7 months in order to attract both partners and nominees, but we did manage everything, making everyone around to work as quickly as we did, and as a result, we succeeded.
Пришли к поставленной цели.
Ну вот вы все-таки представители иностранные, да, компании приехали.
You are a representative of an international company who came to Georgia and succeeded. Georgia had no such an award ceremony. Can it be referred to some structural problems in the hospitality of Georgia? What is the essence of the problem, to your opinion?
С точки зрения, взгляд со стороны. Все-таки со стороны всегда виднее.
Да, вы знаете, я думаю...
You know, ideas to do something similar used to be generated here by some local organizations, but maybe they lacked some courage, enthusiasm or knowledge to accomplish the project. We have just done what we used to do at other places, what we have already known and made. Many of them come to us suggesting to become our partners, since they also wanted to do it, but never done.
Мы тоже когда-то думали об этом, но мы не пришли к тому, чтобы это делать.
Вот скажите, Грузию у нас в стране часто называют Кавказом.
Georgia is quite often compared to some kind of Caucasian Switzerland. To be true, according to the quality of service, we are far behind. What should be done in order to make Georgia be like Switzerland in the region?
Делать в Грузии, чтобы Грузия действительно стала Кавказской Швейцарией.
Вы знаете, у меня есть собственное мнение.
In my opinion, in Georgia, a guest is the first and most important person. And when you are a guest at some family, the hospitality you get is the service itself. And it is of the highest quality. But whenever it gets official, when a tourist comes to the country and pays money, some kind of fear appears in people, which is an indispensable part of mentality, I guess. Service is considered as something shameful to work in. It's necessary to make some changes starting from the youth, step by step. You need to develop the younger generation to make it prestigious for people to work in this sphere. I consider that you need to establish international schools on providing the appropriate education regarding the service and hospitality, though only education without experience and interaction is not enough, since the experience can give even more of the knowledge needed. After all, working in service, hospitality, and tourism as a whole is really very interesting, for one has the possibility to broaden his view of life by acting within the country. There are lots of different people coming here, and it's not easy to find an individual approach to everyone, but you need to do your best in order to have those guests come back again satisfied. I know what I'm talking about, since I have worked in hospitality for more than 5 years.
Марина, вот скажите, вы сейчас...
You speak about Georgia a lot and do it in a real nice way. Can you please draw some possible perspectives for our businessmen to have if they follow your advice?
Чтобы люди видели перед собой цель.
Я думаю, что Грузия, она...
I think Georgia is no worse than Italy, France, or even Switzerland, which I've already mentioned once. But you need time and hard work. Step by step, year by year, Georgia can achieve lots of highest goals, I believe.
Стандартов развития.
Вот вы говорите шаг за шагом, год за годом. Я надеюсь, ваша премия...
I hope your reward will also be held here year by year. Once again, regarding it, how do you plan to furtherly develop in Georgia?
Как вы планируете развиваться в Грузии?
Премия действительно будет ежегодной. В этом году прошла...
The award ceremony will be held on an annual basis. This was the first year, but I wish to note that every year we will hold it in different parts of the country to show the whole Georgia and the maximum of possibilities of the country. We wish this project to exist for many years, and we have a very funny and friendly team owing to what we all love to do. As I've already mentioned, we see great opportunities here and we plan to establish schools here. We have even talked about it already with both representatives of the government and of the market. We will also meet and work with all the participants of the project. We will upgrade and improve the nominations, change some of them. For example, in order to take part in the contests, all of the participants had to prepare quite a big set of documents and stuff, and they were too lazy to do it, so we were just making them do everything that was needed. But all these preparation procedures turned to be very effective and useful for them, for they could analyze their possibilities and qualification, and we are going to work with all of them in future as well.
Как участвовать, так и совершенствовать для того, чтобы побеждать в следующие годы данной премии.
Мы желаем участия в вашему проекту, вашей премии, и надеемся, что из года в год...
We wish good luck to you and your project, and thank you for agreeing to meet us and have this conversation.
Уровня которого заслуживает. Спасибо огромное, что согласились с нами побеседовать.
Любима Длоба.
Thank you too.
Грузия поистине уникальная страна. Для того, чтобы стать настоящей Кавказской...
Georgia is a unique country, but in order to become a real Caucasian Switzerland, a lot is still to be done here. My name is Vladimir Nanants, and remember, the key to success is in working on yourself.
Над самим собой. А успех...
Well, the success is going to guarantee you harmony and, of course, money.